Where's the part at? Where's the part at? Where she was talking about? Because I really only want to go to one part. I don't want to look at the whole interview. I don't have time to look at the whole interview. Where's the part at where she actually talks about dating a white man? Let me see if I can skip through this.
And you're like, you're turned off from it.
Yeah, and I don't even think it's necessarily the politics. I really do think the media plays the biggest part in it because Trump, as far as I know, Trump's been, maybe he used to be a Democrat, but he's been a Republican and a conservative for a long time. I mean, we know he had to have been a conservative in terms of economics. You know, he's wealthy, so you'd be hard pressed to find someone that's wealthy and, you know, advocating for Marxist beliefs. But yeah, I just feel like it's more about the media wants power. The media has a vested interest in things politically, and they like to make us think that we're having this open conversation and we're learning the truth about people. But these are just hatchet smear jobs, libeling people, and I think deluding a ton of people to turn against their own best interests.
So were you more anti-media as opposed to being pro-Trump?
Well, no, I actually, once I actually heard what he had to say, I was like, that's a pretty solid pitch. I mean, it was his Dimondale, Michigan speech particularly. He got up there and he just started listing all of the statistics in Black America in terms of poverty. I mean, these were just real statistics that he was talking about. And his pitch was basically like, you've been giving your vote to Democrats for 60 years. Why don't you just try something different? You know? I think that's a pretty good elevator pitch. Like, hey, you've been doing the same thing for a long time. I'm not saying I'm amazing, but why don't we try something different and see if
Black is back. You're lying. I seen the clip. I seen it on Instagram. I didn't see the whole context of it, which is one of the reasons that I'm looking for it. If anybody can give me the timestamp that she said it, then I'll be happy to play that. Scooby Don, I'm gonna show you a super chat shortly. Y'all just be lying, man. You lying. You started off by saying I'm not gonna lie. That's not what I'm not gonna lie. She kind of ain't no listen. That's a female pitch. Nobody says I'm not gonna lie. She kinda. Either you did or you didn't. That's not what she said. And I can't wait to get to it. And I'm looking for the timestamp, so I'm gonna zoom to it shortly. But that's not what she said. She didn't say that no black man is too intelligent for her. That's how y'all. This is why I like to review stuff for myself. Y'all just be saying stuff. Y'all gotta stop capping, bro. That's why I'm so glad that I think for myself.
it gets better for you. And then suddenly I like flipped over to CNN and it was Don Lemon's like crying. You know, I think it was I'm maybe being, but it was just, they were so dramatic and they were lying about what he said. They're like, he looked you in the face and told you you were poor. Like, I'm like, that's not what he did at all. Mm-hmm. So I just got interested. I'm a very curious, interested person. If I get interested in something, I will just take it all the way, read books. And I'm like, why are they doing this? Like, why are all the media companies that I believed my whole life just lying about it? Just say what he actually said and let Black Americans decide for themselves if that's a good enough pitch. They may have said no. I thought it was interesting, but the lying is something that I think is outrageous. It's gotten out of control.
I think it's worse now. I think it's worse now because not only do you have people who will just create the headlines based off what they feel you said as opposed to what you said. You have people that will just straight up manipulate your audio, manipulate your video, just to push a narrative.
One of the wildest things, the craziest things that people say about me all the time, and it drives me crazy because it's literally made up. They're like, Candace said racism doesn't exist. If you go find that.
I hear that all the time. I hear people say that she said that all the time. And I've been searching and I've been looking and I've been trying to find out where that's at. And I personally have not been able to find where she said that racism doesn't exist. I don't even say that racism doesn't exist. I say that racism doesn't exist for me because nothing is going to stop me from getting what it is that I want. As a matter of fact, I also say that I know just as many Black people that are racist than other people are proposing that are racist against Black people. And Black people absolutely can be racist. And they say, well, you can't be racist because you don't have any power to exert over it. Oh, I absolutely can. And more importantly, we see it happening to Donald Trump right now from Letitia James over in New York and Fani Willis over in Georgia. And they met with Kamala Harris and the Atlanta mayor and the 91 charges that's trumped up. Oh, we absolutely see. And if it could happen against a white president, then you can't sit here and tell me that black people don't have no power to be able to exert or that the system is against you. Bull. Hot garbage. I absolutely disagree. And again, if any black is back was he never gonna say that he wrong. He just gonna be typing crazy.
Headline of Candace says racism doesn't exist. They didn't put it in quotation marks because I never said it. They were like, Candace said racism doesn't exist because she's quote unquote never been a slave. The words never been a slave came out of my mouth, but I never said racism doesn't exist. And it was in the context of an entire speech. The media knew that black people were not going to go watch the speech or try to find the original speech. They were just going to read the headline and react and be like, oh my God, Candace Owens said racism doesn't exist. Like, how could she say this? She's a hypocrite. She's a liar. This happened to her in her childhood.
Yeah, you sued your high school for racism.
Yeah,
So
well,
clearly,
it's actually not that's not what happened. I didn't sue my high school for racism.
For not
But
protecting you during that time, I said, right?
Hmm?
They said for not protecting you. They
I
said,
just did you what the media does.
yep,
yeah,
absolutely.
no, it's fine. I mean, I get it because it's something that I've talked about at length. But essentially, I had this situation happen to me in high school where somebody that I was actually best friends with left me horrific voicemails. They were racist voicemails. There's no other way to slice it.
They called you a nigga because you didn't want to date him.
No, he actually, I think he was gay, to be honest. It was nothing about dating. I think this was
I'm gonna need Charlemagne to do some more research when he has somebody as significant as Candace Owens come on the platform. There's no reason why he should keep throwing stuff out there and not know what the fuck he talking about. This is Don Lemonish right now. This is real Don Lemonish. If you know that Candace Owens is coming on your platform, now I get it. If you got a Sexy Red coming on there, or you got some random rapper or something like that coming on your platform, then that's one thing. But if you got Candace Owens coming on your platform, family, you could do at least a minor bit of research on the very questions that you're going to be asking her. Good God. Like, if you got Vivek coming on there, you got, Biden or a presidential candidate or somebody of significance, Jesus Christ, you're going to at least have to do some research. At least read. When I see people coming on my platform, if I see them, they have a book, I go and I read their whole book. Take me less than a day. Take me less than a few hours to read the whole book. That way I can have a conversation with them and I can ask them context, and it makes them more comfortable with the conversation because they know that you know what you're talking about when you ask them questions and you're not just doing some random stuff. Scooby Don is in the building, says, yo, AD, did you hear about that lady in NY that squatters killed for her home and stuffed her body in a suitcase? NYC is wild. I have not. You got to send that to me. Email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com. That's wild, if that's true. AL says, largest career fair in the country, 600 plus companies, networking opportunities, meeting engineers who can actually impact your life and career. I hire there and mentor college and high school students. Okay, that's dope. I think that that's absolutely beautiful. And shout out to, let me get a round of applause to my dog. I got to give you your flowers, bro, because you're a good dude and you're a good father and you're doing great things. Big Hertification says, Tesla and everyone else, black, put words in Candace's mouth on IG. She told the story about finding her mate, and they took it as she don't like black people. I know. Our people are brainwashed, lost, and backwards. Let me find that clip. If somebody in the chat can give me the timestamp of where she talked about marrying her husband, somebody in the chat, if y'all can give me the timestamp, I would appreciate it. Let me see where it is that I can find it.
and it's incredibly racist first and foremost, but because Black Americans are still, a lot of Black Americans, I should say, are still living under this deception that Lyndon Baines Johnson was a good president.
Thank you. Thanks, Kojak. I appreciate you, bro.
And even though he wasn't a vowel of welfare, Black Americans are, the enemy is, they kind
Oh, that makes but how were people better under Trump though?
That's another, that's the thing that really bothers me is love, and basically that's like angry and hardened. If you even knew half the things that I'm thinking about.
Oh, this is it right here. This is it.
This is very.
Let's see if she said that black man is stupid.
Yeah,
Yes, it is. Every damn
No,
time.
he feels black men should be with black women because when you're talking about
Let me rewind it. I want to get the full context.
The Kickstarter got taken down because they said that this would be doxing for it. But I'm glad it didn't take off because, well, they think, now when you look at this environment and see how people are treated when they say one thing 10 years ago, could you imagine if there was a whole app that had that? It would have been used for evil. It really would have been used for evil.
Now, I want to go back to something you said earlier, because I know a lot of people will hear you say, well, Candace, you're speaking a lot about, the black family, but then you married a white man.
Yeah,
Dr. Umar would have a huge problem with that.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Dr. Umar?
I have heard of him. I have not listened to him, I'll be honest. What is his argument actually?
You didn't miss anything, Candace. You are too intelligent to even remotely have a conversation with Dr. Umar Johnson. You are too intelligent to ever have a conversation with Dr. Umar Johnson. But let's continue. Let's see what she said.
Actually, if you could just repurpose his argument
He
for me.
feels that,
Everything black.
no.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Every damn
No,
thing.
he feels black men should be with black women, because when you're talking about it from an economic standpoint, you want to grow the wealth as a black family.
How and see, Charlemagne is wrong too. Before Candace Owens even get into it, he's absolutely wrong. How can he believe of growing everything economically as a black family and he's not a man that's married to a black woman? But he got 2 baby mamas. Allegedly. How can Umar Johnson believe this thing that Charlemagne is saying, which Charlemagne got to be wrong because he's not an actual representation of the thing that Charlemagne is saying that he should do? Let's continue.
But that doesn't...
And if you marry somebody from another race, then, your wealth will be with that person, and he doesn't like that.
Okay, I would love to talk to him more about that, because, it's always very interesting to me to hear this paradox of black people who will make an argument that, the system is racist, and then also make an argument like this, which is essentially making an argument for the Supreme Court to revisit Virginia versus Love and basically say that black Americans and white Americans shouldn't be marrying. I think the greatest thing ever is when people come together on the basis of who they love and get married. For me personally, I never thought of my husband as a race. It's very interesting to me that see people go, she's married to a white man. When I look at my kids, I'm not like, oh, my kids are mixed. I married the person that it made the most sense for me to marry. I have a mind that is just, if you even knew half the things that I'm thinking about, the stuff that I'm reading, just...
I married the person. She didn't say I married a white man. She didn't say I didn't marry a black man. I'm going to let it continue to play. I want to break this down frame by frame, because this is a very example of what is wrong with our community, and that we start to conflate things and make it something that it's not, and try to make things seem like it is when it's not. That's not what she said, but she said, I married the person. Let me rewind it for you.
Person that it made the most sense for me to marry.
I married the person that it made the most sense for me to marry. Let's continue.
I have a mind that is just, if you even knew half the things that I'm thinking about, the stuff that I'm reading, just go all the time. It's difficult for me to find. It was difficult for me to find a partner that was a challenge to me. The challenge that I needed, whether you want to say like an academic challenge, whatever it is, with my same interests. It just was. What you will know, a lot of times people think that when people come together, it's because of how they look. Actually, I actually read this in a Thomas Sowell book, or maybe it was a Shelby Steele book. People tend to marry their IQ, which is interesting. You think like if you see 2 black people together, oh, it's because they are 2 black people, but actually they are probably better matched based on their IQ. I fell in love with my husband just because I think he is one of the most brilliant people ever. I love him very much. The stuff that...
So I fell in love with my husband because he was brilliant. She actually went against the whole race narrative, and she said that you should marry somebody based off of love instead of marrying somebody based off of identity politics, which is the thing that we advocate for, and one of the reasons why everybody feels so comfortable getting their passports today and going and having sex with and having a conversation with and then ultimately marrying the person that they want to marry. At what point did she say anything about black men? Just curious. I'm going to keep letting it play. But y'all point out to me when she said that black men are stupid. Just want to know.
That we talk about, I'm like, there is no other person that I could have married. We have 3 beautiful children who are growing up in an environment that I am just so happy that I was able to, what every parent wants, to give your children better than you had, And that's all I can say. I'm just the luckiest person in the entire world.
How is he gonna feel about you not finding him attractive and just liking him for his mind?
What do
Oh
you?
my God. What?
Where in that conversation, in any part of that conversation, did she say anything about black men? At any point in that conversation, did she not speak to the individual in his mind and that he was brilliant? Or did she say, look at, they reaching? Oh, you got to read between the lines. What fucking line? I'm not listening. What part didn't I listen to? I just heard the whole thing in full context. You not listening. What is it that what did I miss? I married this man because he has a brilliant mind and he's incredibly intelligent. I don't look at my kids and say that they mixed. I just look at them and I married him for love. That's what she said. Exactly. She didn't even say it indirectly. There was nothing to catch. There was nothing to catch. At what point in any part of that conversation did she say anything about black men?
He got the smear already ready for the journalists that are listening. Candace says her husband is not. It was a bonus that I also think that he's beautiful and gorgeous and handsome, but it really was about his mind, his ability to just dive into any subject and comprehend it, just any subject. I mean, whether you're talking about mathematics, economics, politics, he could read a book on chemistry, read a book on building houses, and he just comprehends the concept very quickly. So I know I married the right person, and I want every person to never allow race to be a barrier to you finding love. That is so foolish. That will stop you. And by the way, there's this. There has been so much toxicity particularly in black relationships because of the media portraying black men as this or black women as this. And we just have to stop doing that, Yeah.
So she actually stood up for black men. If you listen to, because this is the part that they chopped off on Instagram and TikTok. So she actually spoke up for black men. And she said, listen, we need to stop portraying black men as this and black women as this. And you actually should just go and rock with the person that rock with you. So we're in this conversation. Are y'all able to twist these words up and then make it seem like, oh, now you want to backtrack? You ain't a fan. You was not a fan of Candace Owens. Stop. In the very beginning of the live stream, you just tried to smear her name. And then she actually just stood up for men and women that are black and saying, listen, there is no prototype, and I think that people should marry who it is that they closely align with. Y'all weird, man. Y'all weird. Y'all some weirdos, bro. This is how, no matter what you say, they're able to change the narrative and finesse you. Look, facts, it went over y'all head. Nigga, y'all ain't that deep. Nigga, it's probably not a motherfucker in this chat, myself included, that is intelligent enough to be able to debate with this woman. I'm just going to keep it 100. It's probably not a person that's watching this live stream right now that is intelligent enough to be able to debate this 34-year-old woman. Nigga, y'all is not that deep. Oh, man, we got our third eye on. Nigga, you not part of the Wu-Tang Clan? Y'all niggas is a mess, bro.
Have you ever dated a black man before?
Yeah. I dated black men, which is another thing that I always find really funny because the media tries to portray me as someone who only liked white guys. Actually, if you want to be honest, I started off on a really strong Asian kick in my life.
Oh my gosh.
I thought I was going to marry an Asian man.
What's fine?
I did. My first boyfriend was Japanese. My second boyfriend was Korean. I just really loved Asian men. It was weird.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
like,
And
I'm
you was in Stanford,
discriminating.
Connecticut. There was an Asian population in Stanford,
Yeah.
Connecticut.
Well, I mean, there's Asian population everywhere.
I don't know. Was there a higher one in Stanford, Connecticut?
No, I think I just pursued Asian men. I don't know. I just liked Asian guys.
Yeah.
Candace Owens fetishizes Asian men.
Oh my gosh. Stop painting the headlines so they can grab it. What is wrong with you?
What do you think is the biggest
Tell the truth.
misconception of Candace Owens?
I think the thing that I hate the most is the media always makes it seem like I'm so angry all the time.
Okay, so now she done with the black man conversation. I'm not going to keep streaming this because there's no point. She spoke. I looked at the entire thing in its full context, and y'all niggas is wrong. Y'all just wrong. Y'all flat out wrong. And so y'all not that deep. Y'all not that smart. Everybody acting like, oh man, we so smart. You niggas must be from New York, because every nigga from New York think that they smart. And I mean, let me stop saying the N word. But y'all just it's all hate, bro. It's 100% hate, 100% of the time. And I don't know how y'all just keep doing that. How do y'all just automatically make something about something that is not? That's some weirdo behavior to me, bro. Y'all need to pray. I'm gonna tell you what my mama used to tell me, man. You need to pray for yourself. Y'all genuinely need to get on your hands and knees and seek God. Tell him to change your reprobate mind and evolve it to not just look at everything and try to spin it into being something. I hate people like that. I hate being around people like that. That you can say something and then you be like, yeah, man, because I went to the game yesterday, and then they be like, oh, so what you saying that ain't nobody else good enough to go to the game with you? Be like, I'm sorry, what'd you say? Yeah, you said that you ain't go. You went to the game yesterday after we was talking about football. You just start looking at them. Once you realize that the hate is so real, and people just make up something because they just looking to argue, or they looking to just have a problem. You just go ahead and just remove yourself from the situation. That's literally the conversation where they say don't argue with fools. And I'm not about to be sitting here going back and forth with people. That's silly. I'm gonna read these super chats shortly, and then I'm gonna get into Amber Rose. Candace Owens said that black men is not intelligent. Where? Where you see that at? How that play out? Niggas be making it up as they go. You just ain't that deep. It went all the way over your head. I'm more intelligent than you. She more intelligent than me. So whose head did it go over?